Hello, AFI Movie Club. I'm Sharon Seymour. I'm an alumni of AFI, and I was the production designer for the Academy Award-winning movie ARGO, which I'm very proud of. This is the opening live action sequence of the movie. Previous to this is a really informative prologue that sets up the politics that led to the storming of the embassy. I think that that was a really smart move on Ben Affleck's part to give the audience some context of what was going on that created this anger and hatred. I picked this scene as the production designer because it has a ton of different elements that are sort of the brilliance, honestly, of directorial design, cinematography, and editorial choices. The initial scene of all the protesters in the street was shot in Istanbul, Turkey. We built the gates and just a very small portion of that wall. The consulate, where you see our main characters right now, was shot on a location at the VA in Northridge.
You just need to finish filling out this section here.
All the sort of tension and the reaction, all of that stuff is very good acting and great cutting, because these people were not hearing any of that protesting. These people and the street were working themselves into a frenzy, and they were about to go through a gates and run into a soccer field, because that's where we built this. We built it on a street that had houses and a soccer field. This is a digital recreation of the embassy grounds based on our massive amount of research. The choice of film stock, those mountains are all digital. Here you're introducing all of our main characters, the time periods being so beautifully set up with their hair, makeup, costumes. Again, the cutting is just fantastic because the tension is building. They're storming in. Cutting from tension building on set to a functional 1970s teletype machine, almost impossible to find, cutting to yet another location, completely dressed.
Burn everything! Burn it now! All right, burn everything. All the files, file cabinets, safe.
Cutting back to Turkey, cutting to, we built just the portion of these doors that end in the concrete pillars. The camera work, the digital camera work that led the Marine outside.
Get a card over here. Burn it all. Come on. Burn everything. Burn the classifieds. Everything.
Don't fucking shoot anybody. You don't want to be the son of a bitch who started a war. They need an hour to burn the classified.
Most of these locations that involve the embassy were at the Northridge VA, which was an abandoned building. But we added, we added a number of things to be able to break into this bathroom. All the Farsi signage, all that stuff is hugely researched.
We need to make a decision.
Can we wait until the Iranian police come?
Characters conflict on whether to go.
They could very well be coming. Police have abandoned their
If
post.
the police are not coming, okay, then the army's going to come. The prime minister's not going to let the
I
embassy be
understand.
taken
The
over.
prime minister may come tomorrow, but the Komote are here today.
All right, is there any,
so
is
we
there
need to
any value
evacuate
in-
the...
At the same time, when they cut back to people waiting to get visas, trying desperately to get out of Iran, cutting back to the higher offices, to the Marines on the ground who are literally going to have to figure out how to defend themselves. Then again, back to Turkey. This obviously deserved an editing award. the fear of the people were being killed for even attempting to go to the United States. So they are in fear for their lives, as well as our embassy officials who understand that they have the weight of the United States government behind them.
First, let's
If they get caught applying for visas to the U.S.
You know what? Let's wait 5 minutes. We are in the only building with direct access to the street. If we're going to go, then we need to go now.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, let's go.
And this was a mistake. This official going out allowed the revolutionaries into the building. He had high hopes of being able to deflect the anger. Again, the hallways of the VA racing to burn all these classified documents, which of course sets up what happens in our movie, which is that the incinerator fails and they have to start shredding. And they're shredding all this classified information that will later come back to haunt the 6 embassy workers.
You said you want to see the world, right, Tom?
They open the doors, the revolutionaries are racing in. This is a set. They're racing upstairs on a location. They're racing, we're doing close-ups in various places on the location. This is all digitally enhanced roof of the location with the built-in hatch that they're prying open. Meanwhile, back to our guys, figuring out that they've got to break the plates that tell the revolutionaries who might have gotten out, and then desperately trying to get rid of all the classified information so that that people are protected there. This is when makes the choice for the shredder.
Get the shredder.
There are no police.
And then the house guests, the embassy workers say, Iranians go first. We want you out of here. The consulate had direct street access. If these people could get out, they would be not targeted. Just the anger at Khomeini's being used as a dartboard, just the fear of what is going to happen, and they're in.
It's done. They're in.
Because we have this technology, the internet, we could reach out and look and shop, all over, trying to find these things. And as much as possible, Ben wanted functional, practical equipment. As an actor-director, I think he completely understands what it means to an actor to have the real thing happening. But also, as much as possible, we were trying to do things that gave a physical practicality, and it was a daunting task. Everyone in my department, the art department, was consistently and ongoingly doing research. But I think every one of those details makes a huge difference in just putting you in the time period. Everybody did great work to make it an extremely real world that you just eventually are immersed in. It deserved to win the Academy Award. I think it's an example of a truly great movie where everything works and the audience comes away, what's happening, that they didn't die because the history, and yet you're on your edge of the seat at the end of the movie.